Four, three, two. Hello, everybody, and welcome to No One's Listening. It is I, your host, No One, and as always, the one and only Stretcher.
Hey.
And then we got special guest next here. That's your cue.
Oh, hi.
That was the
Oh no, I
lamest
was the next
fuck.
one.
Hi.
I'm never the next one.
Okay, thank you. Well, the special guest is last. And then, the one and only, older people might know him. I don't really know him. Stretch knows him. Next is retarded, doesn't know anybody. Revan. I think that's how
Up,
you say
guys?
it. Is that how you say
Yeah,
it?
you are correct.
Oh, I'm a G. Okay. So for those of us don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've been around the console comp scene for quite a while. I was the owner of VPR, so basically any VPR team over the past like 5 or so years was mine. Um, Around August of last year, I moved from console over to PC and joined SSG as their support staff, and lasted with them through SI this year. And I'm currently bouncing around doing work for a whole bunch of different like T1 teams in a whole bunch of different capacities right now.
Okay. So as you heard, he dabbles in the pro scene a little bit. Okay, so do you want to maybe go through the step of? I'm curious, but go through the step of how you went from console. Did you just like go straight to T1 at like?
hmm
So you just skipped steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just went straight to the top.
I literally bought a PC, or I bought this laptop to work with SSG specifically.
So what are the steps to that? Like, how did that just come to be?
Well, it always like I always tell people like with the T1 scene, or like especially PC comp for Siege in general, like it's really always down to like who you know. And I've had a working relationship with the guys from Disrupt and Astralis for years, and have done like a little bit of work here and there for them when I could, and like adjusting strategies and such. And I had been debating about getting a PC, and I kind of just reached out to call out, and I was like, hey, so like I know we've kind of worked together in the past a little bit. We've known each other for a few years now. Do you guys need like an extra analyst or an extra coach? And call out found a space for me. And that was just kind of how the whole interaction went.
Wow, so you really did just skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not it's not what you know, it's who you know. You heard it here first. So,
that too.
man, on that, so like, how does it work? Cause you're not like the main coach. You said the like assistant.
Yeah, I was one of two assistant coaches for SSG. I worked with Alonzo as well. He actually
Hold on.
like
Excuse me.
I was
Excuse me. Excuse me. Stretch. Shut the fuck up. You got one more time to clear your fucking throat. Okay, continue.
I wound up working with another assistant coach, Alonzo, who for the 3 weeks in Boston for SI was my roommate while we were there. Really cool dude, really smart guy. He did God fuck was he the I'm pretty sure he did most of like the defenses for SSG. Yeah, like he was like the main guy writing up the defenses for SSG. Call out and I kind of did the attacks together. It was mostly call out, and I did like a lot of the busy work, but I was kind of there to like improve the strategies and everything else that we got already going on,
Oh,
and counter strat against teams specifically.
oh, he's the desk jockey. Okay, I got you. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so for someone like me, I don't really know how the coach shit works. So like, do you go with them? Like, walk through a day of SI as a assistant coach. Like, what does your day look like?
Well, like for I was with them for Montreal, but I wasn't in Montreal with them at that time because like that was kind of like while I was doing a trial run with them.
Hmm.
But for I flew out to Boston, and SSG had me and the other assistant coach in a separate hotel from the one that Ubisoft was paying for the entire 3 weeks. So like they covered everything while I was there.
Oh, that shit's heat. They paid for everything.
The occasion like I paid for my meals, but like
Oh,
they paid for basically anything
I
else.
was about to say, hold on, that how you
They
sign up?
also they did pay for our two most expensive meals though.
Hey, you got to get it where you get it. But no, like walk through like game day or like
So
the
it
night
really
before.
depends
Yeah.
on it depends on the game or like what we were at, or where we were at the time in terms of like the tournament. But I like on a normal day, I spent a good like 13, 14 hours or longer with the team, and I would like while they were like scrimming and going over strats and everything else, like I was watching VODs and doing like all the busy work, helping counter strat. So like most SSG practices, like including at majors, would be about 6 hours long. Usually about like 2 to 3 hours of kind of like, or no, it was usually 2 hours of like talking through everything and 3 hours of scrimming. But like a lot of like every time we were there, we'd do what like we would call sync, which is just like everybody would hop in a VC, turn on the cameras, and like just kind of keep like tell everybody like what they did that day, and then we'd get into practicing. But like at the major, since obviously like all of us were all there together in the room, we had Hector, our performance call coach, or I think he goes by Hex, and we did workouts with him. Like the SSG workouts are pretty fucking intense. So and I hadn't worked out in a while, so that was
Wait, like
that was a rough that was a rough adjustment
like
because like
like
those guys are all so jacked.
oh, so like physical workouts.
Oh yeah, like no,
Damn.
they yeah, SSG is like big on physical fitness, and like we did a good 30-40 minute workout every single day, and like it was super high intensity
They don't
shit
want no
too.
fat
Like
fucks over there.
yeah, dude, it was brutal because I hadn't worked out in like 6 months, and I was hopping into the workout regimen of guys who had been like working out every single day for the past 2 years.
Hey, take notes, console. See, you can't perfect a strat in a day the first time. Okay, and then you gotta work out. Okay, PC can work out. You can too.
Oh yeah, like that's straight up like one of the biggest parts of call outs coaching regime is just like everybody has to focus on themselves inside and outside of the lobby, and like the way that the team primarily focuses on themselves outside the lobby is like everybody works out and has a goal that they're trying to get to.
That that's actually interesting. Every missed clutch, 20 push-ups. I like it.
I think we
Okay.
did do a game like that one
Oh
time.
Jesus Christ! So you got to personally interact with the annoyingly great Ashen, then, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every single day was we did practice usually like I think it was Monday through Friday, 6 hours a day, but like sometimes it was just a little bit different. Like sometimes we do 6 days a week. It really just kind of depended on what we had to do and what we needed to take care of. But for the most part, like yeah, I was with those guys 5 days a week at minimum for a good I want to say like 9 months.
Damn.
Like still good friends with all of them. I love those guys to death.
All right. So, are you? Did you let yourself go? Are you still fit? Be honest now.
Oh, I would like, dude. I was never close to like the level they were. Like I still work out occasionally, like, but I know, like, dude, those guys
Every
are
New
fuck. Those
Year's
guys
for
are
the first
fucking
2 months.
ripped. Those guys are fucking ripped, dude. Like, it would take actual years of progress to get to where they are. Like, these guys have been working out together for ages.
Damn, they just got it. Okay, personal question: is Ashen as annoying in person as he well on the screen, like in the game? Because I think what he does is healthy. I think there needs to be shit talk.
Liam is actually more annoying in practice, if you can believe it.
He's more annoying.
Dude,
Uh,
practices with Liam or something else. It's like I say annoying, like I find it hilarious, but like he talks more when we're practicing, like to the team, than he does like in game yapping at the other team. Like especially when Forrest was on the team, like every other round it was like Brox, like come on Brox, what the fuck are we doing here, Brox? And like every single practice with Liam and Forrest was just so unbelievable. And like you wouldn't know this from how he interacts with the camera, but J90 Jack is absolutely every single bit as annoying as Liam is. Like
that's
he's
that's crazy because he
like
kind of
those two
seems quiet.
together are just the worst combination.
I just remember it was last year during the SI. He said something that made me like drop my mouth. Like, did he really just say that?
I think they did a it was a couple years. I can't remember what event it was, but I remember they had a match on Bank, and that was when they were doing like the player comms after rounds, and they cut to the player comms and Jack called somebody a retard.
That
And I
might have been
remember
what it
them
was.
broadcasting that.
Well, I remember he dropped the F bomb in there too, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then the casters were like,
No, bro, like Jack calls people fucking retards all the time in practice. It's so funny. I'd like to hear him get caught on broadcast doing that shit. I was dying.
"Oh, there he is. That's the one we know." Oh, okay. Hot take. Who's all right? So, well, first of all, Stretch, you got anything to add?
Well, I was gonna put on a more serious topic. I know personally I can attest to it, and I'm almost positive Revan would too. But some of like the best times I've ever had with my team on like old 5.2 rosters or just old teams in general has been like outside of the game.
Mhm.
Like I remember we used to have like team bonding exercises with one of our old teams where we'd literally just play uh Animal Party Run or something along the lines of that on GTA or whatever, and it was the most fun I've ever had with a team ever. And that was
Oh yeah.
also probably one of the best like pound for pound, skill for skill teams I've ever been on too.
Hey,
And
team
like a
Oh, 'cause,
lot
yeah,
of
that's
it is just playing together.
team
yeah,
chemistry
the out of
is
lobby shit is
yeah.
important. Like
That's
we like the SSU guys hang out pretty constantly at events. Like the only reason we weren't together all the time in Boston was Benja got like really sick right like towards the last week of the event, and like was in his room like 17 hours a day basically just sleeping. And as soon as we got eliminated from main stage, Benja like he didn't even go to he didn't even go to the fucking autograph line. Like he went just straight back to the hotel. And
Mhm.
because he was suffering. But like no, the SSG guys do like we do a ton outside of the lobby when we're all together, because like it's a little bit like we're already kind of with each other 6 hours a day already. And like I said, we every single day we would start off like talking to each other about like what we did after practice the day before, and like what we did before practice on that day. But a lot of times like we would hop in ranked. Like I would if Forrest wasn't playing, I'd be invited to the rank stack. But
that's what I'm talking
if
about.
if Forrest is playing, he takes ranked a bit seriously. So and I fucking suck, especially compared to all of them. So
Nah,
like
you're the same
I was
level,
into the
man.
stack for those games. But
You got the
um
brains.
yeah, like I always tell people I coach for a reason. Like dude, I'm ass at the
Ah,
game. But like
but I mean, yeah, like I guess to tie it in is like people only look at team chemistry as just playing the game together, but you can look
Mhm.
at like just more than esports. Look at NFL, college, high, like any sport you can take up. It's the people that have bonding outside you can notice right away.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's
No,
just
yeah.
like you do more than the game. Like you can tell like when you're mad, it's not a real serious like mental chalk thing. Like it's important to be friends because you know each other more than just in the game.
Oh yeah. Like all the SSG guys like we all considered each other's brothers. Like we're all like, I know it's such a cliche, but the whole team was a total family. Like
That's what
we
I was gonna end up saying.
yeah, like when we were in Boston, one of the breaks we had between shit going on was during the Super Bowl, and all of us like went down to the lobby and went to a restaurant, like the in hotel restaurant. We all sat down, watched the Super Bowl together, and and Forrest was betting on it live too. And like every single play, the fucking the Chiefs kept screwing up, and I just look over at Forrest, and Forrest is like, "Oh my god, bro! Like, come on, guys!
I know you
Like,
didn't just say
somebody do
he's
something."
a Chiefs fan.
No, he's just a better.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's what's wrong with him.
He don't give a shit. He just likes to bet on the games, bro.
he, he just,
Like we were out I think the Saturday of like the main stage, we're all out drinking. And I think I don't know if any of you know Henry, the old Astralis video guy, Red Cube, he was there. Iconic was there. A couple like a bunch of Fultz and I think a bunch of Fultz and Henry's IRLs were at the event, and there was like some random, like it wasn't even UFC. I don't even know what it was. I think it was a boxing thing. There was a boxing thing going on, and Brox had like no idea who either of the people were, and he bet on a dude just because the color of his trunks.
That's
Ooh,
that's
that's like
wild.
gambling addiction.
No, we went to a casino too. We played blackjack. Oh dude, we were at the roulette table, and like everybody was just having a good time, and we were like looking to get out of there. So Benjo was just looking to get his last 50 out of there, and he put down, I think it was his last 100. He put down his last 100, and he put it on green. And Jack, Brox, and I all looked at him. It was like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, you're insane." He's like, "Don't." He goes, "Don't bet on green." Like, no, no, no. Like, don't. Like, if this is gonna be your last hand, don't waste it, bro. And he's like, "Okay, okay." So he puts all of it on red, and it winds up on green, and we cost him about $1,800.
That's fucked up.
Like we all felt so bad. Like Benja was laughing, having a good time, just enjoying himself. And I was like, bro, I cannot believe we just cost Benja a chance at $1,800 because we told him betting on green was stupid.
Damn, y'all are brutal. See, that's kind of nice to know because I feel like maybe not in the gaming community, but I feel like outside people looking in, like they see esports as just like even streamers and shit, just like nerds without a life. So it is like
Mhm,
it is kind of nice to hear like, well, they do live their life too. It's not just game, 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 game.
mhm. Like all the best teams, like they are going to be really good friends with each other. That's just how it is. Like in-game chemistry is as important as out-of-game chemistry. Like you need to be like you really need to learn to like rely on your teammates in and out of the game. And that was like one of the big things that Call It preached. Like everybody has to trust each other. Like everybody, like you need to go into the lobby, come into practice every single day, like knowing that in and out of the game, every single person, top to bottom in the organization, like is somebody you can trust. And that was super important to us.
Well, that and I feel like in-game chemistry, you know how they play, but you don't know how to readjust and talk to them if you don't have out-of-game chemistry. So like this dude, you might need to not yell at, but be more stern with, because he's hard-headed. And this dude, you might have to
Mhm.
take a softer approach. But if you just only got in-game chemistry, you might not know that.
No, yeah, that is literally how it is with esports. Like you really need to know like it's weird because like one of the call it as like good friends with all the guys on the team, but like at the end of the day, he's their coach, not their friend. Like the coach part is going to come first, and he spent all these years like learning to make sure how to best reach every single person that's on the squad individually, and it really does show because like every single person reacts to his leadership exactly how you'd want them to.
Hey, that's all you can ask for right there. Oh, next, you got anything you want to add?
Oh, I'm just listening.
Oh, you just
I
listening.
didn't come prepared with questions.
Okay,
Shit,
okay.
my bad. Should have.
Well,
Let me Google some real quick. Hold up.
I got okay. So, hot take: who's the funniest? Don't even have to be a
Like
player. Just like the whole SSG in a roundabout.
it's really hard. I would say Jack probably made me laugh more than anybody, but like the entire team is super funny. Like even Benja, who's like the quietest person, like he's so quiet out like in person and like in the lobby. He's just like he's a hilarious shit talker online though. Like if you look through his tweets, especially the ones directed to Alamo, like he talks so much shit out of the lobby on Twitter.
Hey, it's the quiet ones.
He's an underrated funny person, and I think a lot of it has to do like sometimes like when we were going to it's like it's not even like intentional. It's just it's a language barrier thing because like he's Danish, and English is his second language, and we were in Chipotle getting food, and he pointed to the guacamole and looked and looked at the person dead ass said, "Can I get some of that green stuff?"
Hey,
I
that's
just
a good
burst out
description.
laughing behind him. He's like, what did they say?" Like the whole team was funny, but like I said, Jack really cracked me up the most. He's the most random person on the team. He's probably the most talkative person on the team too, and that's on a team with Ashen. So like,
So
take that for what it's worth.
for those who might not know his name, who's Jack?
Jane, I know.
Okay. So
Like
that, that
he is like the whole team was funny. Like even like the two guys who didn't talk a whole lot, like Alonzo, the other assistant coach, and Benja. Like everybody on the team is very funny, and they all have their moments.
see, but
But
see,
like
guys,
Jack is the funniest.
esports players are people too. So you said earlier when I was talking to you that you're looking for another team to get in with for like SI coaching.
Hmm.
Do you have any preferreds?
I mean, like at the end of the day, of course, I'm going to prefer to like stick around NA, but it really just like it's just kind of the nature of the business that like if you have a better offer somewhere else, or like sometimes you just won't have any other options and just kind of like you got to go with whatever you get. But like I would prefer to stay within NA. But like I said, it really doesn't matter where I wind up. I just kind of want to wind up in a spot where my particular set of skills can benefit the team
All right,
and like push them a little bit further than they would without me.
so you don't have like a favorite team that you just want to do just to say you did it.
Honestly, of the teams that have qualified right now, no, not really. Like I would love to be back with SSG, but I know they're I'm not within budget unfortunately. But like that's kind of a problem with esports in general is like I would say through like without leaking anything for anybody, like the through August, I would say like 70% of the teams in Siege were over budget. Like it's just a standard thing. Like everybody goes over budget. Esports is not really a business you make a lot of money in, especially as like an org. You kind of always operate at a loss. So like it really kind of doesn't matter to me where I wind up. It's just like even if like no one's got the space or the budget or like the need right now, I just wherever I wind up, I want to be somewhere that like who I'm working with can benefit from me being there. Cause like I just don't want to sit around and like collect a paycheck. Like I want to be there and like actually help a team get better than they are.
Okay. So, oh, you can ask next. Ask your question.
Okay, I got a question. It might be a really stupid question, but going from like, because you were part of console comp before this, going from that to PC, what was like your biggest adjustment with it? Because I know it's completely different communities. Like, was it community the biggest adjustment, or was it what? Because
I gotta say the comp community and PC is just like it is leagues ahead of the console community. There's just like there's such an unbelievable difference in maturity between like the PC community and the console community.
Thank you. I feel like some people just
that
act like I'm talking to a wall when I say that.
no,
Sorry.
it's very crystal clear.
No, some console kids do not want to accept that it's a professionalism difference.
Mhm. No, like the thing I always like preach to people on when I was with VPR and like a lot of people that wound up on the team and left the team that had a problem with me was because I was strict with how they communicated and talked to people, and I was like, if you're ever trying to do anything important in the scene, like you can't make yourself a brand risk. And like there are so many different people that are like basically every console team is a brand risk. They have somebody on the team that's a brand risk. Like
Shit.
even M80X with Franklin and some like the other Jinxie people, they had like they were still on M80, like actively employed with M80, and Franklin went online and posted a video of Sentier dropping the hard R and him laughing at it. And I was just sitting there, I was like, bro, you are on a professional, like you are on a world class PC team right now. Like I know you just came from console, like you can't be that fucking stupid. And I was like, I quote tweeted it and I said, this is why I keep telling console people that they will never get the respect from Ubisoft and the comp community, because like this is how they act when they get there, and it's just an incredible difference in maturity.
All right, so
Makes
to
sense,
tie,
is it?
oh yeah, okay. But to tie on to that, what are the ego differences?
You honestly, you'd be shocked. T1 doesn't really have that big of an ego problem. Like, I would say below T1, like T2, T3, T4 has the standard like gaming ego problem, but like T1 itself really does not have an ego problem from what I've experienced. Like
I feel like you.
even the players that I've never like particularly liked as people or like personalities that I met while I was there, like all of them were super humble people, like super nice. And like there are people that I've had disagreements with before that like are super chill about it. It's like there really isn't that horrible of an ego problem in T1, but like I have been around T4 on PC, and it's kind of got the same issues that some of the people on console have, but like I would say it's not nearly to the extent of console. Like not every single person thinks he's God's gift to Siege.
Yeah, I feel like T1 really like you could have an ego, but you're all like I don't know how many people there are all together in T1, but let's say like 60 players. It's like y'all are the best, the top 60 in the world. Technically, you're on the big stage, so
You'll get humbled real quick in T1.
yeah. Like I feel like at any given day, this person can go off, this person can go off, this person can go off. And
Yeah,
that's where
like
it's like I feel like you couldn't really have much of an ego because you're all the same exact level. Whereas
yeah, like every
T4,
every
yeah,
single person, yeah, like like I would say barring a few obvious exceptions, like every person in T1 really belongs there. And any given day, the worst person in the lobby could pop off and drop 4 on your head and like and make you lose a game because you allowed them to like sneak out and make a play. Like there's no such thing as like a bad T1 player for the most part. Like there are obvious exceptions, but like in general, there's no such thing as a bad T1 player, just a bad system. Because like I remember when Hot and Cold was with SSG, when Callout had like Astralis had just disbanded and Callout took over. Like Hot and Cold did I would say very poorly in the SSG system, and then he moved out of the SSG system and
dude's
like
a menace right now.
yeah, he's won multiple majors now. Like there's really no such thing as a bad professional player. Like it's just a bad fit in the system for people that have been there more than one stage. Because like you'll have a bunch of one and dones that didn't work, but anybody that's been there for like 2 stages, if they like they're there because they're good.
Okay, okay. So you kind of, I don't know if you said it in general or not, but you said barring some exceptions, most of everybody belongs there. Did you say that in general, or you think somebody don't
Yeah,
belong there?
no, it's that's in general. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
gotten a lot better. There were some real dark days of NAL. Back like during the NVK XED era and the Beast Coast era,
The
where
pre-COVID
like
era.
yeah, the
You get
Beast
pre-COVID
Wimbledon
era,
too.
Coast.
like there was some like and this is granted I didn't know a whole lot about the T2 scene at that time, but like there were some pretty heinous teams in NAL, and a lot of people that managed to stay there for a long time who were not very good. And I don't know if it was just because like obviously like a lot of those teams had money issues. Mirage specifically just wouldn't pay anybody, and like I don't know if that was a money thing or not, but like there had to have been better options out there than a lot of the teams were fielding. But like I just think I think it was at a time when there was too many teams in North America and not enough T1 talent to go around.
Sounds like
And
But
more
like
console.
that's not a
quantity than
problem that
quality.
happens anymore. Yeah, they're like that's not a problem that really happens anymore, especially in like NA and EU. Like there's not really a whole lot of teams where like it's even like that big of a talent disparity between them and everything. Like, granted, Cruelty is like the last stage from Cruelty was pretty heinous, but like coming in, I genuinely believed at the time that like that Cruelty team could have done something if they like I don't know exactly how to say it. Like, I don't think took it more seriously is the right word, because like I don't think that they weren't taking it seriously. But like, I think if they trolled a little bit less in game, they had a really decently competitive team. But like, obviously last stage really not so hot. Same with the LFO
Stage
team, but
prior.
it's just like I really don't think there's, in general right now, a whole lot of people, or like in like there's enough T1 talent to go between every team. Like there's enough quality players to go between every single team now. And like, as Stretch called it, like the pre-COVID era of NA, there was not enough T1 talent for the amount of T1 teams that there were.
Well, you also got to remember, holy, that right before the pre-COVID, hold up again. The pre-COVID
Take your
era,
time.
the NAL was separate from the Canadian Pro League or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's where like Parabellum,
Yeah,
Mirage, and there's
like the
another
actual
team.
good versions of those teams were still there.
Yeah, and then like they got merged into NA, and then it became kind of diluted and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But yeah, I just think a lot of it was more quantity players over quality players.
Yeah, it was
Because
like a
even
lot of
then,
teams
though,
just fielding rosters just to do it.
yeah, and like even then, though, you would see like teams like E United or whatever take the chance on importing, and that was like unheard of in 2018, 2019 with who was all on that roster. It was Forrest and
I think
Alfama,
Call
and
Call was on that roster, wasn't he?
he was. I don't remember.
Let me go take a
I
look at
remember.
that E United roster, because I remember him and Forrest played together.
I want to say he might have been on it. Alfama, Grixer, and Rexon, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
That sounds about right.
the time to be it.
Alfama, but I don't know. There was one more EU player that I'm like blanking on. I want to say he was a Spanish guy or an English guy.
So their entire list of former roster are Alfama being French, Grixer being Mexican, then
Grixer.
Kansan, Rexon, Yeti, Callout, Forrest, and Reed.
Hmm. I'm blanking then because there was definitely two other people that were NA or EU that went to NA. I
I
don't
think it
know.
was
It
around
didn't
that
really
time.
matter
I
too
just can't
much.
remember who that is.
It
Yeah.
was definitely around that time. It didn't really matter though.
Hey, Prime
I'm just
Bolo
blanking on who it is.
was the time to be alive.
See, there was Geo was Mexican, Fox was Canadian, Jarvis, Gomfy and Sleben were on Sonics.
Sleben, yeah.
Gomfy and Sleben, yeah. Gomfy being German and Sleben being I think that's Finnish.
Mhm.
Yeah, Finnish. So they had a German and a Finn on the Sonics back then. That was when Iconic and Easily were on the Sonics too.
What a time to be alive.
But it's kind of different from how comp is nowadays. Like there was way more players back then as compared to now. I feel like
Mhm.
that's kind of how it is in like console too. I mean, you wouldn't know because you don't really stick your nose in a console too much anymore. But it doesn't feel like there's too many people anymore. Like it feels like a niche community where everyone knows each other,
Mhm.
but it's like all of the higher echelon players are like a dime a dozen. But
Oh
you get
yeah.
more like filler people.
Yeah, like that's kind of how it is with T1 too. It's like it's why you see so many different T1 players that like for a lack of better description didn't work out like some of them didn't work out multiple times and they keep getting chances because like A, it's a lot of, like I said earlier, kind of like who you know, and B, a lot of teams just won't take a chance on a player that they aren't they aren't confident can possibly
Mhm.
make a T1 impact. Like, granted, I will personally admit to being wrong about Dream because I like when Dream had gotten picked up back to the, I think it was, I don't know if there was like an actual roster at that time or if it was just unwanted, or I should actual order if it was just unwanted, but when they had picked him up I was like, bro, he's been here like 100 times. At what point are you gonna just like at what point are you just gonna say we have to give somebody else a chance? But
Mhm.
Dream came in, he kicked ass, and I think he's kind of one of, I would say, a few, like a rarer breed of player that's had like 5 different teams that came back a 6th time and just wound up being really good. But like there have been plenty of guys that haven't worked out before or just like can't ever find a footing that would hop team to team to team, just like hoping that they would eventually get a spot or like they would eventually work out with that roster. And like for the most part, stuff like that doesn't work out for people who've had a bunch of chances. Like I said, Dream is kind of the exception to that rule, but it's just like there's a very limited amount of upper echelon players, and they kind of just they just kind of just rotate like the fringe players as opposed to giving another person a shot, just because like it is really hard to find, because being T1 isn't just about your skill. There are plenty of people that have probably better gun skill than like I would say half a T2 probably has better gun skill than half a T1, but like
Mhm.
it's like there's so much of a difference in like mentality and your ability to work with the team
I
in
think,
T1. And like just because you're a gunner, just because you're like really good at the game, people aren't necessarily going to be willing to give you a chance because they don't know how you play on their team and their system, and like in a sort of environment where like everything is super serious and like this is your job now.
but well
I'm
then,
glad you kind of rotated to that too, because for the longest time, and I feel even up until very, very, very recently, a lot of like teams in general, and it's like all regions too, but especially in North America, it's just a constant rotation of out. I wouldn't say out of prime players, but players who like have lost their shine a little bit.
Yeah,
That are
players who have
being
been around for a
recycled.
while.
Yeah, they've been recycled
oh,
into these teams
leave my boy
and
alone.
not getting other players in T2, especially a fair shake. When a lot of these T2 players, like the biggest ones you could say is Diffuser right now. That's
Mhm.
like if Beast Ghost didn't take a chance on him, what would
Yeah,
today
they
be
like
like?
probably wouldn't have won that major without him.
And there's been instances in the past too, like you think Spoit coming instantly into T1, them taking a chance on a rookie, and look how that turned out. There's
Mhm.
been instances like that, but I feel like it's few and far in between. But we're now shifting into an era where more teams are less reluctant to take on a rookie as compared to a past.
Yeah,
And
especially with
it's
like
working wonders too. It changes like team mentality, just how teams are ran in general. And I mean, you can kind of translate it into console too,
yeah,
but
like
I feel like that has to go
I
by
hate to
tourney
say
players.
lower tier teams, but like a lot of lower tier teams like Envy are starting to like
Mhm.
really give people a chance, just because like I think they understand that like as much as having a veteran presence is helpful, like having some young blood in there and giving chances, especially like when you have nothing else to lose, is
Mhm.
helpful. Like I've been the biggest Mike W drum banger since like as long as I can remember, and
Since he
I'm
was on
so
console.
excited he's on MV now.
Yeah.
And
Wait.
it's just like, so like he should have been in T1, I would say at least a year ago at this point. And
Yeah.
that always frustrated me.
But it kind of sucks though, because when you think of like, especially NA, I mean, because me and you are both most familiar with NA, a lot of teams at the top have money to spend, like your Dark Zeros, your
Mhm.
M80s. They have money to
Bro,
spend, but then you
Dark
get like a
Zero needs a
team
new roster.
like Envy where they don't have money to spend, and if they field talent like a Mike W now, Mike W's not going to be on the team if he has a great stage. Come next
Mhm.
stage, if he doesn't build a personal relationship with the team, he's going to get filled fielded by these other big teams. If a Dark Zero rival doesn't work out, for example,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's almost like that's their role in the ecosystem. Their
yeah. They're almost like
their
feeder.
place in
Like
the
it's
ecosystem is
mean
to
to say,
test
but
the
they're like
player.
feeder teams.
Yeah, they might have a good stage one and they might make playoffs,
Hey, I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
like
but
it's
when more money comes calling in from a bigger org, then
yeah, it's nothing to do
obviously
with the
they're going to
team
venture into
themselves.
better
It's the org.
pastures.
It's like the org because they can't decide whether or not they're going to be able to keep the team based on
Yeah.
like the amount of money that the org's willing to spend. Like if Mike W has like a baller stage one next year or like a really good quals this year, like if that happens, the chances of him being on, like I said, I hate to use the words better team, but I guess like a more financially
Grounded
well-off
team.
org. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a more financially well-off org like DZ or SSG or SR or M80, like the chances of him being on one of those teams if he has a really good stage one or a really good quals by the end of next year is close to 100% because NB's not going to be able to afford to keep him when
Hmm.
you have two other teams that are willing to pay their players in like the tens of thousands, like the 50,000, 100,000 range. Like NB's not going to be able to compete with that, and that's just kind of the reality of the business.
And that's just kind of how console comp is right now too. I don't know if you ever like look at it
Oh, he
at
ain't
all,
going
but
back.
Occasionally,
a lot of the
very
teams right
occasionally.
now is you have your very top teams that are like that have, I wouldn't say money to spend because console orgs don't really have money, but the orgs that invest the money are gonna have the better
It's any
players.
money versus no money for console.
Yeah, and the I mean the thing is that these teams are, I don't know, it's really hard to explain it because there's a lot of like middling tier teams that are just playing off passion alone.
Hmm.
But when you get to these some of these upper teams in console, they're playing for the money,
Hmm.
and to them the money is more important than the love of the game itself.
Yeah, because like I came in like I joined PC right around like maybe 6 months after Wild Boys got into the scene for
Mhm.
console, and like that was right around the time that console started going from, like you said, passion projects and teams of players playing with people they love and want to win with, and it became very org focused. Like
Mhm.
even if it's crap money, and I feel like if anybody from PC ever listens to this, like they're gonna find shit like this hilarious. But like if it's a difference now between like $25 a month and no money a month, like they're going to pick the 25 every single time. Like even with the lack of passion like even if you have friends, like there's very few people that are willing to stick with a friend team if they have some other team that's like, hey, we also have all these good players. Like, you guys might not get along, you guys might not win anything, but we're gonna pay you money. And it's hard to resist even at like that level of money, just because like unless you are like the top of console, like we're talking like uh the guy like like the constant roller Sunday winners, like those
Yeah.
people, unless you are one of like those 10 players, there's really not a whole lot of money to be made on console. And like it's weird to say because again it's like $25 a month, but the fact that you're getting paid any money at all to play console siege is kind of like a clout thing, and people are just going to choose that over a passion
Yeah.
project.
But
And here's something else that you're gonna find insane, but a lot of these teams that pay teams, like whether it be a paid per game or like an
Mhm.
incentives or benefits thing, a lot
Mhm.
of these times these teams aren't even at the level they could be because they're getting a bunch of people that aren't passionate about the game. They're not
Mhm.
putting the time and the time and effort to play the game. They're chasing the money. So I mean,
I mean,
statistically, they could be a worse off team and are in a lot of times
all they gotta do is
not a very
win.
good team.
oh, I mean, like look at fucking look at like obviously they've won a major now, so like we can't really say much about them. But look at M80, like they fucking they no roster, no roster chemistry. Like Marco just went out there and he paid like all the best players he could find the most amount of money he could pay them,
And look how that
and
turned out
it
for 2
constant like
years, year and a half.
yeah, and they constantly like they would go in there with like the best team in the world on paper, and they wouldn't even make a major because like there just
BDS.
wasn't something going, like there wasn't a connection on the roster, like there wasn't chemistry, there wasn't like they weren't worried about play style chemistry or personal chemistry or like getting the right coach for the team. It was like I'm going to pay the most, like the biggest name, like even if they were still really good players, it's just the lack of roster chemistry killed them every single time. And until they picked up the former unwanted roster, like they really had no identity. They were just kind of there.
BDS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's them too, for sure.
Dude, you have like BDS always pissed me off. I think they let Shaiko do what he wanted too much. Like there are times
Yeah,
he
like I think they hung on to a couple players too long. Like I think they held on to a
Rinshiro,
Lems and
Limbs.
Rinshiro too long.
Yep.
Especially with the allegations revolving
Oh
around
yeah.
the Lems.
Oh, yeah.
But like there are times they just let they let Shaiko just Deimos, which I mean the dude is a fucking menace. But at the end of the day, it's like Breeday's not as good as he was. He was one of the greatest clutches of all time. But he's not that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, like he's still really good. It's just like
So when
he's
they
not like the one of one player that he
no
used to be.
since their rebrand though, he's been doing a lot better than the last BDS
Mm-hmm.
SI. But then I mean you got Leaky Fact, which I don't even think he don't even look the same since Shaiko. Like I think they just let him do his own thing and it kind of fucks them up.
I couldn't tell you what goes wrong with the BDS Falcons roster
Them
because
motherfuckers get the finals choke.
I will say like I met all of them. I partied with all of them like in Boston. Like they're all super chill dudes. They're super funny, super nice guys. But like I couldn't possibly tell you what went wrong with that roster every single time because like it almost seems like they just couldn't handle the pressure when it came down to it. And it's weird because like all those guys work so well together until like the last possible moment, and then all of a
Yes.
sudden just all falls
Fold.
apart. And I've
Fold.
never understood it.
And it hurts because like I'm a Breeday fanatic. Like he is one of the reasons like I love the game because he's
Mhm.
never been a super gunner. But if you want a guy to win a 1v4, it's him.
Yeah, like he was probably like I would rate him as probably like one of the best clutchers in Siege history. Like
That's like it,
he's still very good, but like in his prime he was a one of one special player.
that's like he made me fall in love that in the G2 Empire. But he made me fall in love with like just the more mental playing of the game rather than just turn a corner and shoot.
Yeah, like the Brede was like the perfect example of a player that like, and granted, he did have like very good aim. Like everybody in Pro League tends to have very good aim, but like he had well above average Pro League aim. But like he was one of the few players that really showcased how much better a player can be than someone else if they know the game better than them and they think through what's happening better than the other team. Like you could not put him in a like he was the hardest player in the world to put into a situation where he could not win because he would anticipate, he knows when he's in a 1v3 what you have to do to make sure that he can't win it, and he's going to stop one of those steps from happening before it can happen.
The GOAT. I tell you who I've been hearing a lot more lately too. I thought fell off was Surf.
Surf has had a resurgence for sure. Like,
Yeah, that's what I said. He fell
was,
off for a minute. Then here lately, I've been hearing him pop off again. I'm like, oh.
Like I will be the first to say that like Surf is another person that proved me wrong because like back in the day, it did take him a little bit longer than anything else. Like when he was on Beast Coast, like
with
I stood by, I stood by the fact that I thought him and fucking Sweater, I thought him and Sweater were both like LMG crutches, and I was right about 50% of that. And like I said, Surf did take a while to get back to like doing good, but man, like he is one of the most versatile players in the NA right now. But like,
so you want him to
it
clutch?
took him a while
clutch.
to get there.
You want him to frag? He'll frag. He's fun to watch. He's fun on Mirror. Like I used to love watching him play Mirror.
Oh yeah, he's a fun watch for sure. Like he's one of the few guys in NA right now that like you can look at and just like pretty much every single round you can expect something interesting from him. Maybe not every round, but like every game you can expect something kind of like unique to happen when he's on screen.
Oh, well, let me just tie. I did want a question that I had to ask like 20 minutes ago. But I was gonna say, so you don't have to say like what you ask for, how that works. But what would like for a coach or assistant coach, like what would you be doing it for pay? Like, is it that? Is it like what would that look like? The monetary gain.
So there's a whole bunch of answers to that question, or like a whole bunch of not answers, but like I guess parameters on what would affect that question. Like it is position based, it is org based, it is team based, it is job based. Like there are coaches out there that are absolutely getting paid more than players on certain teams. And
Yeah,
there are
check
coaches out
stealers
there,
and people that played for the love of the game.
yeah, like there are coaches out there that are getting like and obviously like I consider them worth it because like granted I'm going to be biased about this, but like I think having a good coach or somebody that knows the team or like can reach the team on a different level, or like not even just that, but like the kind of work that coaches and analysts and assistants put in, it's invaluable. And like coaches are worth every single penny you pay them, but like there are certain teams that pay their coaches higher than other teams pay their players, and there are certain teams that like coaches just don't make anything. They'll make off a prize pool, and there are certain teams where it's like with my position specifically with SSG, I wasn't monthly salaried, but I was making off a prize pool, and that was based off a position. So like it is truly a position based, team based, org based thing, because like I obviously like not like to say anything or like talk about anybody's money or anything, but like Call makes a good living with SSG, and granted, he does a shit ton for SSG that like the public will probably never know about. Like I don't know if you guys have seen anything on his Twitter, but like he's got his own esports performance brand now too. Um he like SSG had helped him or had him fix up the servers for multiple of their teams. They had eventually moved every single SSG team into the SSG R6 server because it was run so well, and that was all callouts doing. Like he makes good money, and he does like what he does, like no money will ever be able to fully compensate him for the amount of work he does. Like this guy is an insane workhorse, but like he's obviously going to be getting paid more than like, and granted I have no way of quoting or knowing what this person would be making, but like he's going to be making a shit ton more than like Envy's coach is going to be making. And and there are some assistant coaches that are probably making more than some head coaches are making. It is really based on the amount of work they do and the org they're with. Like
Yeah.
it varies so much, and that goes for players too. Like it's so different team to team, person to person, org to org.
So like I was gonna say I could see a coach making more than a player. Like to me, like I know like especially in console, you'll see people who don't play the game. Like a you play the game, you'll get shit on for trying to tell somebody how to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
They probably don't know any of your history. And it's like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like I still had people that like back in the day would say like because people treated KD like it was the most important thing like
shit, it
to
still
determine
is.
like how you are as a player, and no one in console really understands that like there are so many different levels to like knowing how the game works. And it's like most of the fucking casters are like golds and plats. Like I'm pretty sure Intero's like a gold or a plat, and that's in rank 2.0. And like I would consider Intero probably in like the top 5 most knowledgeable people about Siege in general, and like his actual knowledge of how the game works and like how the game is played. He's probably in the top 5 for that.
Yeah,
And he's like maybe a gold with a .9.
yeah, but Yeah, like and the other point I was gonna make is like, is I feel like that gets misconstrued with like people who try to coach and help people because
Mm-hmm.
like in console I've noticed it comes off as insulting. It ties into the whole ego thing,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
it's like
that's a problem on
yeah, but
console.
it's like people don't understand. Like you just stated, it's like the coach not only has to know how the team plays, they gotta know how each individual player plays. They need to know how they react in person, like the outside building too. They got to keep them all in order. They got to make because I believe the coach is the only one allowed on stage with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got to know how to do the quick fixes and the quick adjust when they call the timeout or during the prep phase. It's like they got to know 2 times as much as the players. The players just got to know what the game plan is and how to execute.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the coach has to know how to keep them in line, how to talk to them, how to go to maybe each individual person, but hey, do this, do that. So I was like, I can
Yeah,
see where a coach would make more than a player.
yeah. When I say like making more than a player, I'm more referring to like on other teams as
Yeah.
opposed to like players on their own teams. But there's like I said, the amount of work and the shit that call out brings to a team is something that I will fully stand by. Like no amount of money will ever be able to like properly compensate him for the amount of shit that he does and like how good he is at doing it. But like it is really person to person, team to team, because like we said earlier with kind of like talking about teams like NV and Beast Coast, back like teams that just didn't have a whole lot of money and couldn't afford players, like that goes double for their coaching staff too, because like a lot of those teams will put everything they have into their players and have very little to offer a coach. And it's just like you could be or like I'm sure I have no idea what Fett was making, so I'm just like pulling shit on my ass, but like I'm sure whatever Fett was being paid on Beast Coast wasn't enough. Just like plain and simple, it wasn't enough. Just because like he's such a good coach and did so much for the team, but like I'm sure if he had been on like a G2 or an SSG, he probably would have been paid a lot more. But like he was doing it for like the love of the game, the love of the team specifically, and it's like, but like I said, if he had gone to a more resourceful org, like if he had been with M80 the entire time instead of just like after the whole Beast Coast thing, like he probably would have made a shit ton more than he did just as the coach of Beast Coast, despite doing the exact same job.
So I got a couple like things I want to kind of get your opinion with the mix, like not really mixing, not like a multi cross play league or whatever, but it's like if you could bring like if you were to just wake up because realistically you're not coming back to console, am I right?
I mean, like, I don't know. I occasionally like I mean
Yeah, yeah,
I come back to console to do
uh-huh.
shit occasionally, but like it's rarely Siege. It's just the quality of life shit on PC is so much better. Like the only reason I would ever come back to console is just because occasionally like the cheaters on PC can be a bit fucking much. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah. So anyway, say like you just wake up and you're like, I'm going back to console, right? What would be like just a list? It don't have to be a specific number. What are some big things that you would try to bring to incorporate to make the console scene better?
Like I said, the biggest difference between console and PC in terms of like the community, everything is just like it is a maturity thing. It is understanding that like you can't just go and say the shit that console players say. And like people will say that's like I don't know, too woke or too PC of a take, but like you really have to understand that like the way you interact with people when you play this game, it reflects on you as a person. Like I will admit to have been that person occasionally on console. It's really like the people really need to understand how important it is on how you present yourself to others. And that is like that was something that I tried to bring to my team at least when I was on console. And like if I were to return to console, like that would be something that I would have to continually stress to people is like you need to learn how to conduct yourself as an adult. Like, even if you're not an adult, even if you're 15, 16, like, act like one. Don't act like a kid. Like
Oh,
that,
dude,
the shit's just, it's rough.
just
It's embarrassing.
just
It's embarrassing to be around, and it's just like that's the biggest thing that I would tell people is like you need to learn to conduct yourself as an adult while you're on console, even if you're playing Siege.
and I mean like sometimes
Sounds
even
good.
like in a DM is one thing, but these motherfuckers are going in public chats with hundreds of people,
Yeah.
just dropping the R's, calling people fat retards, calling fat
Mhm.
fucks, go kill yourself. And
Yeah, like the amount of people that just go into like the general chat in the league and say the hard R with like with a picture of their face as their profile.
I will say the amount of
It's
people
insane.
that say it in console, I guarantee you are not black. The majority
Oh
of them.
yeah, I'd say 80% of the, like 80 to 90% of the people that go into the chat and drop, whether it be the hard R or just the soft A, like the amount of people that go into the chat and drop it, 90% of them are white,
White or
and like
Puerto
half of
Rican.
them have their face on their profile.
Yeah. And as I like that is one thing, like also I've noticed just with some recent shit going on that I've just been paying attention to. It's like how quick people get an ego in console.
Mm-hmm.
Like you beat one team and it's like holy shit, you're unstoppable. It's like, but you didn't beat nobody. Like, like you didn't beat anybody. You beat a console team. It's not a
Yeah, like I think the other thing for that I would like to try to improve with console players is like we had mentioned it earlier, you have to be coachable and understand that like just because you're mechanically good at the game does not mean that you are a better player or a smarter player than anybody else. Like you have to be coachable. Like if you make a mistake, like it doesn't like you can get 4 kills in a round and still be the reason that round got lost in the first place.
that is a
And
big
I
thing
think a
people
lot
don't
of
know.
console players don't understand that. Like you need to be able to be coachable. You need to be able to accept like even if like like I said, even if it's you got like a whole bunch of kills in a round or like you single-handedly almost brought it back, like you can still have made a mistake in the round, and the fact that you like on the scoreboard performed well for that round doesn't mean that you couldn't have done something differently or better. And I think that's something that I've always seen console players struggle with is the acceptance that no matter how you do, you could have probably done better. And that was like one of Callout's biggest things. Like we call it the infinite game. Like you're like every loss, every win is a learning experience. Like no matter what, the game is always changing and there's always going to be someone smarter or better than you. And you have to be willing to accept that and you have to be willing to learn off of that. And like that was the biggest problem with console players is because it was I would say at least 80% mechanics based versus PC Siege, where it's like a lot of the like it is really like especially at the highest level, like you really need to know your shit. But like so many console players assume that just because they can get like 11, 12 kills a game doesn't mean that they're like negatively impacting the team by how they play. Because like they could have gotten a lot of those kills by baiting their team, by being out of position, by being somewhere where they couldn't be close to get a refrag or like make a cut on somebody. And
Well, I tell you,
half of those 11 kills are meaningless.
I don't know about like people I've played with or I've randoms, friends, whatever. It's like the one of the biggest common ones I've seen is, for instance, say you're like you get 4-1. All right. Well, I went. Well, let's just say 12-2, and the rest of y'all just did dog shit. It's like okay, but you're not taking into account that 9 of your
Who
kills were
got you
post.
those opening picks?
Well, that and
Mhm.
9 of your kills are post plant baits. You didn't even try to go
Mhm.
for the clutch play. You just sat there and knew they were going to push you and kill them. So did you really do good?
Oh yeah, that's like another thing. And granted, like this is also bad on PC too, at least in ranked. But like the amount of people that don't understand that like you're never out of a round is absurd. Like the only time you're out of a round is when the round is over or there's literally not enough time left on the clock for you to like hit a diffuser or like get on the diffuser. You were never out of a round to that point. And like I have seen people like this was obviously worse on console, but like I have seen people get into a 1v2 post plant and just not move for 30 seconds. And they'll go out and they'll get 2 kills and they won't even have baited for it. They'll go out there and they'll fight and get the 2 kills, but there's no time left on a diffuser because they spent 30 seconds hoping that the other team was going to peek them. Like you have to make a move. Like you like stop sitting on a fucking roof in a 1v5. Go and like go into the map. Fuck your KD. Try to make a play. Like
oh yeah,
maybe yeah,
when
like maybe they do something stupid. 3 of them run out and you're in the building and you kill 2 of them and you can get the plant down. Like you're
or
not
the
out of a round.
you run in, get an open and pick, and then you're a minute and a half in a round and 3 people are still outside. It's like, bruh.
Yeah, exactly. It's
All
just
that
like
momentum I just created.
there's so much that like you have to stop baiting. Like people care so fucking much about their KD in this game. It's unbelievable. And the one thing I learned like with SSG, like the biggest thing I learned as a player from SSG is it doesn't matter how you personally do. Like you could go 0 and 11 and be the most valuable player on that team because you got your teammates kills, you got your teammates into like you covered the positions, you made it difficult for the other team, you wasted a shit ton of time, and you could lose every single gunfight, but you won the game because you put those rounds on your back and you held your position or made it just that much harder for the other team to deal with the rest of your team, and that's all that matters. Like
Well,
we had on Astralis when I had talked to Call Out about his philosophy as a coach. He referred to things as pullers and crankers. And the puller's job was to go in and draw attention, and the cranker's job was to go in and fry the guy that was shooting at his teammate. And a lot of time the puller would die, but that would give your team the important position that they need or get rid of an operator that they need to get rid of. And the people on console just really don't understand that because they would not be willing to go in and sacrifice their body just so a teammate could get a kill because it's way too statistic focused because no one cares about winning. They only care about what the end scoreboard looks like.
yeah, they only care about
And
doing
that's
the
always
best.
been their problem.
Yeah, like after I said, I played games where it's like I've had a teammate or myself. I've done it where I'll be like 0 and 3 or whatever, but I'm in second place because I planted 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I got the walls. I planted. I got this and that. It's like utility shines more than a kill. Like I might rather have the mute jammers down to remove intel versus you go get one pick then get refragged.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like just console doesn't understand that.
Yeah, and it's like maybe your flashbang was the entire reason that you're like a good throw from a flashbang that wound up getting you killed is something that like gave your team the opportunity to go in and get 2 picks, and like that'll never show up on the scoreboard. But on PC, like when plays like that happen, the team recognizes who made the good utility play to allow to allow the thing to happen, as well as the person that went in and got the kills. Versus console, like the only thing that matters to people is like at the end of this day, if I went positive, I helped the team. If I went negative, I didn't help the team. Like there's so much more to Siege than whether or not you got a kill on any given round.
hmm So, would you say that, just in a hypothetical stance, would you say console could benefit from more structure in the scene?
Absolutely.
Because I don't know what it was like when you like year 2 years ago. I'm still I think a year pretty much. So it's like I'm still relatively new. So I don't know what it was like when you were here. But I was like, there's like absolutely nothing but I just want to play here. I want to play there. Like there's nothing to it. Just teams are teams. They do what they want. They like there's no nothing.
Consoles like like console comp, like aside from like those top tournaments, like the $1,000 tournaments, console comp is really just ranked. It's people play where they want, they go where they want, they do base strats, and they hope that they can get a couple picks before the team walks in and takes the control. Like there's like on attack, there's no counter stratting. Like, oh hey, they have positions here, here, and here. Let's go hit this instead. It's just like, okay, we're gonna send in one person. He's gonna get the kill, or he's not going to get the kill, and the round's gonna be over.
Well, another thing I've
As
seen
they
with
could
them,
absolutely benefit from that.
I say another thing I have seen with them is you could probably attest to it, and you've been in pro league. I touched on it earlier. Is the ones that do try to strat, they'll give up because they'll try to take a pro league strat that that takes hours and hours and hours and hours to get down because it's based off player chemistry. It's based off how the player. A console team will take it. Oh, this shit don't work. It's trash. It's like because it wasn't made for you.
Mm-hmm.
But then they'll
Yeah,
just
no, like
yeah, they'll just throw it away and be like, okay, let's just run again.
one of the important lessons I learned for like call out in terms of counter stratting is like it is useless to take another team strats. Like we would take specific ideas and things that were done from other teams and incorporate them into our own strats. But there
Mm-hmm.
has never been a point in time when call out has used the same strategy. Like even with over the last few players like Iconic, Newers, and Benja, like every single strat that was using with that had them is changed now because they have a different player and somewhat different roles, and they would never one-to-one copy a strat that was meant for 5 different players. Even if there's only one person changed, it is that important to know that like these strats are made for specific people to do what they do best. And what I did when I was on console, when I made strats, I did lift a lot of Pro League strats, but what I did is I modified operators and positions
Mm-hmm.
based on who was on my team and who could play them.
Yep.
And like, and a lot of people think that like, oh well, I'm gonna take and like I even made this mistake at first. I started just ripping off one for one Pro League strats and realizing that oh okay, like all these footholds in places that would normally help Pro League teams, like it's getting us fried because we don't have the positioning or the personnel to do something like this. And then I started modifying those strats to fit my team, and suddenly they weren't. I was no longer like, well, how the fuck does this work for them? It was like, oh, okay, like yeah, we have the foundation now, but it's our strat. It's no longer the Pro League strat. It's our strat. This is VPR strat. This is no longer an SSG strat. This is no longer a BDS strat. This is a VPR strat because I took their strat. I modified it to my team. You cannot just rip one for one from Pro League and expect it to work because all 5 of your players are different than all 5 of their players, and that strategy is designed for all 5 of their players.
Mm-hmm.
And people just don't understand that.
And on top of that, the hours it took them to get that.
Mm-hmm. Now,
You got
strat making is a really lengthy process. Like
I'm
counter
glad y'all brought
stratting
it
will
back
normally
to this
take me an
point,
hour
though.
per map.
I'm glad y'all like really brought it back to this point because I wanted to interject at some point, but I know like Revan can definitely attest to this because back in the old day, I say back in the old day when it's only a few years ago at this point, but it felt like the best teams were teams that invested time into the game. And like I
Mhm.
was saying earlier, a lot of teams just don't do that now. They kind of just go where the money goes. But like you look back at like old 5.2 when we were at our like at our prime, you would see that like we ran strats that I made myself. If like you were saying you lifted strats or something, you wouldn't lift an entire strat. You'd see this rotate and this player positioning, and you think, huh, how did they use that? And what utility did they use
Mhm.
to have this here and all that stuff? And I feel like that's something that got lost recently, where
mm-hmm.
teams just aren't making strats anymore, and it's gone to like comp meta is like a ranked meta as well, and it's just an abusive operator meta to where there's not really any strategical depth anymore. They more play into the gun skill, the
Mhm.
operators that are strong with like in Pro League, it's shields are strong, but you're not gonna see a double shield ban every game. But on console, teams are either gonna double shield ban or double hard reach ban
Mm-hmm.
or something along those lines, to where if one set of the abusive meta operators are out of the game, there's going to be another set in that's going to be used every round.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, you'll see, like, there's very, and I wouldn't say very, like, infrequently, but, like, there's a very decent amount of time when you'll still see a mirror on the board, or a
Yeah.
Cade, or, like, name any powerful defensive operator that, like, console players would rather fucking kill themselves than deal with. Like, a
Mm-hmm.
zombie survives half the bans in Pro League now, and a zombie's still a bitch to deal with, but, like, they actually think about the bans on how they want to play against the other team as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to just what's going to be powerful. Like, they will say, I'd rather not have to deal with the possibility of this kind of a hold, even
Well,
if that means keeping a Miro or an Azami on the board.
here's an example that I've seen it happen more than once. Okay, like that's what you're trying to say, like Psycho on Deimos. Teams will ban Deimos that have vertical plays just to keep Psycho off of Deimos because he is that game changing with Deimos because he's just quick. Versus just banning your meta Cade or Blackbeard. Like you ban for the
Yeah.
team you're playing or the strat you want to play what's gonna annoy you the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like,
I
it's different if you at least have information on the other team being like, I know they love to abuse this and that, like, we can take care of
Mm-hmm.
that. But, like, a lot of times that's not the thought process that's going into banning those annoying operators. Like, they won't ban Blackbeard because the other team has a bitch of a Blackbeard player. They'll ban Blackbeard because they just don't want to deal
they
with
don't want to deal
Blackbeard.
with it. They'll never pick Blackbeard the entire game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like they'll do that against a team that has nobody that can play a Blackbeard effectively, and without thinking about it. So they just effectively wasted a ban because they didn't want to deal with one specific operator that the other team wasn't even going to play.
And then what was I gonna say?
Well,
Oh,
so. Hmm?
oh, I was gonna say like I've looked up the Google or Ubisoft when they do it every now and again. They'll show you the side by side of like console bands, pro league bands, and you'll see, and it's like they don't even line up. They're like
Yeah,
so
it's
far
not even
different,
close.
and it's like, well, you also like who was it? Like Jackal used to be banned all the time. It's
Yeah,
like
Jackal
what?
used to get banned all like it was like 70% of console games he was banned, and it was like 15% on PC. And that was like one of the first things I realized. Like, granted, Jackal had fallen off quite a bit by the time I got a PC, but like I was still running into a ton of Jackal in console lobbies. I would get onto PC, I would see a Jackal once every 30 or 40 games. And there was no fucking point of banning him because no one played him because there were other better options. But it
Was
was
it?
literally just people banning it because they find the operator annoying, as opposed to like whether or not it's actually going to impact what's happening.
Well, then I'll say like one annoying thing about console that I've really, because I've played in both, I played in the mixed lobbies, and it's like it's always the console I hear it the most at. Console is the only platform I will see that will just shit on you for droning.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's a part of the game. You drone, you fucking drone. It's like, okay. Excuse me for
Yeah.
using the
No.
utility the game
No,
gave
that
me.
that shit is embarrassing, and it happens a lot on console. And I have been told I've gotten into ranked lobbies on console where like it'll be a minute in the game and like 3 of my teammates have died, and I'm just entering the building, and they're like, "Bro, why the fuck are you taking so long?" It's like, "Bro, we got 2 minutes left in the round. It's not my fault 3 of you morons hopped into the building in 15 seconds and died." Like, and you know what would have prevented that if any of you had fucking droned.
Mm-hmm.
But like they don't get it. Like, console players like it's so weird because console players act like playing Siege like it's not COD, like it's actually Siege instead of COD is some sort of a skill issue.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Well, it's like a player mentality thing though that only exists on console
Hmm.
because, like I was saying earlier, the way that the comp is played now is so foreign to guys like
Hmm.
me and Revan because we're from the old guard where to get by and be like decently competitive, you have to have structure and strategy to your team to where gun skill, obviously, it was like one of the most important factors, but
But it was
you needed something
secondary.
else. You needed some type of ingredient on it.
Yeah, like you
I wouldn't
couldn't
go
just
as far as to say that it was secondary, but you needed some type of appetizer
you,
to go onto your
you
entree.
couldn't just rely on it. Like there had to be
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Like you had to have a plan. You had to have somebody. Like you had to have people playing off each other. You had to have at least some sort of like plan to use your utility or like bring the correct utility or bring the right operators, whatever it might be. Like there had to be something other than, okay, this person can walk into a building and kill half of the other team. That
Hmm.
was like, and now that's the entire strategy. It's just like one person's droning, one person gets sent into the building. If they get a kill, round's still on. If they don't get a kill, round's probably over.
Yeah, and like today, you'd be so shocked of how the game is played because you'd think you'd be in a ranked lobby. Because
Hmm.
a lot of the stuff that we did back in the day, where it's like, hey, we're gonna have three guys being the spearheads, two droning right at their foot, and you have this other type of excess factor in the game to go into it is gonna win us the round. But now it's kind of just everyone plays for themselves. They just play aggressive and rely on gun skill. Where it's
Hmm.
like the good teams, like we always on our podcast, we always shout out a team or something like it to keep it within our like little ecosystem and console comp. Well, one of the main teams that's like coming up, I'd say, that's like really impressed me as of late, based off results and like what they're bringing to the game, is a team called Nebula, and the guy that runs it or IGLs it or whatever, he's an old guard player. He thinks like we do, like me and you do, because he grew up and spent time growing up where strats were how you won games and
Hmm.
consistency and coordination is how you won. But then they're bringing in new stuff into the game, like specific attacking strategies and coordinated pinches, because you really just don't see that anymore. And
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
the impressive teams now are basically just teams that can pinch and coordinate, because no strategy exists in the higher echelon anymore. And that's
Yeah.
crazy to say because in Pro League, every team is going to have your crazy coordination, your crazy gun skill. The only difference between teams is structure and strategy.
Yeah, like the way console teams like in the last like even in the time when I had like last played and last been coaching on console, like the philosophy of attacking was never like the way it's weird to put it this way, but like the way console players play now is what I would say in T1 is a literal last resort, which is like
Hmm.
just full sending it and getting in somebody's face and trying to get the kill. Like that doesn't happen in T1 unless like there's either a specific quick pressure strat that's being used and there's a backup plan for it if it doesn't work, or B, if it's a 2v5 and you have literally no other option other than send an Ash into a power position and hope they get the kill. Like that
Yeah.
is the primary thing that console does now. That is literally the last resort in T1. Like you do not send a player in to take a 50-50 gunfight unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah. And like, again, got like, I know like, because you don't know who the guy is, this trippin' guy that I'm going to name
My
drop.
goat.
Yeah, I'm really good friends with him. I've known him for years, played with him for years. Was playing with him earlier today. But his team that he's on right now, because he just joined them, so I wouldn't say he runs the team, but he's like their primary IGL. The way that he's playing the game and he's having his team play the game is how PC teams play the game and how console should be doing it.
Mhm.
Like meta abusing ops. I've never seen a team in my 6 or 7 years of comp now or so. It's about that runs a Ying shotgun, a Deimos
Mhm.
shotgun,
Mhm.
a Nook shotgun, plays heavy vertical, stuff like that. That is like step 1 and 2 of a pro league team,
Yeah.
and
Like I will
it
say
just
at least for
catches
Vert,
everyone off guard on console.
I will say at least for Vert, it is a lot harder to be a good Vert player on console than it is on
Mm-hmm.
PC, just because of like the actual like the mechanics of aiming on console versus PC are
It's so
so much
easier on
different. Like
PC.
it's so much more precise on
And so
PC,
your ability
and
to
it is
flick
really hard.
and look quick and shit.
Yeah. Like it is really hard to be a good Vert player on console, but like if you are a good Vert player on console, you're already better than like 90% of the people that you're going to be playing against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if you can dominate Vert and like if you really can learn Vert, like even if you're not great at it, as long as you're better than the person that's underneath you, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So, well, real quick before like get too far off topic, I did want to say like Stretch can attest to it, but it's glad like you've worked in the actual pro league scene, so you know what it all entails. And I'm sure you've heard it because they've wanted to do it for a while. But they always want to make a pro league for console.
Yeah.
The idiots know they're not gonna get Ubisoft backing, but it's just like the shit you touched on that some of us touch on that I've brought up is the professionalism because they want to do it, make it a big scene on Twitter, this and that. And I was like, it's just nice to hear somebody that's been in the actual scene say the same shit. Like it could do it, but you can't sit here and drop
Yeah.
the R. You can't call
Yeah,
him an
like I will tell
autistic
you right now,
retard. Yeah.
the entire like T1 T2 scene, like even like having met and like, been friends with UB personnel and Blast personnel and spent so much time with like I like one of the guys he's no longer the director, but like he was the director for Blast back when I was in Boston is Trey. Like Trey's a super cool dude. I remember having conversations with people like Trey at the time, and this was during the whole like real like big rise of the console players demand for a console pro league. And I remember every single Ubisoft employee and Blast employee's response to it was like, are these guys fucking serious? Like do they like they're joking, right? Like do you see how you people act? Do you think we're going to invest money into a fucking scene that just cannot control itself?
Yeah.
Like they think of like it's not being a dick, but like the PC people, Ubisoft and Blast think of the console community as a total joke because they're a brand liability. Like
Yes.
they like console is brand suicide for
So
Ubisoft and Blast.
it's nice to hear you say it because like I said, I always argue the professionalism part. I think
Hmm.
Stretch does too but a lot of people think it's just the money and skill. I was like, they don't give a fuck. It'll earn money, but you can't act right.
There are plenty of good players that have been dropped for being a cancer, or, like
Yeah.
being a bad person, and like like people get bans in comp in pro in PC comp for being racist. Like Doki got 2 years for dropping the hard R. Like if
Mm,
they're giving like one of the more talented fraggers in PC a 2-year ban for dropping the hard R once, like they take that shit super fucking seriously, and no one on console understands that like you can spend like this is a billion-dollar company. They have a brand, and that
mm-hmm.
brand matters to them, and what you cannot do is do something that makes them look bad. If you are repping Siege, if you are like if Ubisoft is paying money to an entity and that entity has people representing it who go around and like constantly make these gross awful racist jokes and like say the worst possible things and threaten to rape people in match chats, like that is a brand risk for them. That makes their brand to investors look horrible because they are putting their face, their logo, and their money on that, and they are getting bad people representing them. And that money being on it is Ubisoft endorsing it to like other brands that and investors. And if you make them look bad to their investors, they lose money. And the one thing console is really fucking good at is
Is
being a brand risk. And you're going to lose Ubisoft so much fucking money, and that's why you're never going to get a fucking console pro league, because you guys don't know how to conduct yourselves, and Ubisoft knows that, and they're not going to take a chance.
see that's what I was saying, because I was like they want to do their own independent thing, and I think the end goal is to maybe get Ubisoft. But it's like I said, unless you change the toxicity of the
Yeah,
community, it's not ever going to work. There's a reason that
yeah.
no console community has a pro league scene.
hmm
There's a reason
Like, if
COD
you
doesn't
guys
dabble
want
in
to
it.
make your own pro league, and you are going to have to run it for at least a year without any incidents
Shit,
for
you
yeah,
can't even go
exactly. You're
5 hours
going
without
to
an
have to
incident.
invest your own money and run a console pro league and go a full year without any sort of an incident in any of the match chats. And if you can't do that, Ubisoft is not going to sponsor you.
You can't even
Like,
go an
the
hour.
only way you could do that is investing in yourselves, and continuously, and you have to have Ubisoft personnel around and show, like, in those chats, like, they don't have to do shit, but they have to be there to see that, like, see, we can conduct ourselves like actual human beings instead of total fucking chimps. And maybe, just maybe, Ubisoft and Blast will be like, okay, maybe we'll sponsor like one console thing, but like, you have so many years of bad PR to undo before Ubisoft is even going to blink in your direction.
Because I think Ubisoft is one of the only companies that actually give console a shot. I
Mm-hmm.
think. Because
Yeah,
I
they had a Siege, like a console. They had SI for console at one point. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
just year one,
yeah
but it
16.
was,
yeah.
yeah,
2016.
the first ever SI had console teams there.
But I was like, I don't think Activision's giving like there ain't many companies that giving console a chance, and then it's like the few that have learned real quick why that was a shit
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Yeah, that's kind of been the problem. Is just like, it's literally like, it is not even just Siege. It is every fucking game that is like a competitive shooter. The community around those games on PC, like, are like the most well behaved good boys compared to any lobby you'd find on console. And like even some of the lobbies and shit in PC is still bad. Like, there's still incidents that happen on PC from time to time that make like big gaming news, but like, it's not every other week like it happens in console. Like, it's like every single, like you said, every company that has tried to give console like their own esports type shit has learned real quick about why other companies don't do it.
Yeah, it's like the first day hard art's like,
hmm Like,
Well,
the
so
console players can't go a fucking day without being racist in all chat. It's crazy.
I was gonna say this. So we would all agree that the problem with console not getting their pro league is because of the player base itself. But do
Mhm.
you think if, let's say, in a hypothetical world where it's like we control it and it goes exactly how we want it to, if we were, because correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't, obviously, I'm not around on PC as much as you, but when we had collegiate or whatever you want to call it, we didn't do match chats. We didn't like map binge GG to do like all the bans and stuff like that, and scheduling was done by like schools and representatives and stuff. So there wasn't players talking with
Mhm.
each other until we were in game, and that's if they chose to. But there
Mhm.
was no chats at all. So do you think like eliminating just the chatter in general and
Yeah.
switching to a more professional style, see like map binge GG or however it's done in PL would be
Yeah. No.
like
That
the
like
best
that
way.
would
I mean,
genuinely help, because like, even in the
obviously,
T4 leagues that I'm
I feel
in,
like
they just like the lack of, like, there's a general chat, but like anytime I have done one of these tournaments with a team, if there has been a match chat, something has gone wrong. If it was literally just map bans and in-game chat, nothing happened. Like
Yeah.
even if there was like a lot of toxicity in the game chat, nothing happened. But anytime there was a fucking match chat, there was a problem.
Yeah, because we would always have to refer to a moderator or an
Mhm.
admin of some sort if there was ever any issues.
Correct.
And then that's like,
But the other issue,
obviously, that's like, I mean, that's something we could definitely use in console, but I feel like not people are gonna want to do that because it doesn't incentivize them, if that's how you want to
It's
put it.
like it's more fun to have those match chats, but like
It is.
it's one of those things where like you just can't be trusted with them. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how else to say it. Like you
Maybe if it
can't
was
be
just
trusted
the
to have that freedom.
representatives only
well,
had
Yeah, like
access to it and
yeah,
administration.
representatives only. Like that would help significantly. If it was literally just like if you elected team captains and said like this person specifically has to do all of your bans and like they're the only person allowed in your match chats, like that would be something entirely different. But like and but the only problem with that is like that also then runs the risk of it spilling out into the general chat because they have nowhere isolated to say the N word to each other, and they'll just go into the all chat and
Yeah,
say it.
I know. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that was the thing I was about to bring up. Is like I've even muted match chats before, and they
Mhm,
just go straight to the general chat, and it's like, dude,
mhm.
that's even
Yep.
worse. But that's where it's like one thing that I want to do with my league is I want to like first of all I want to swap it to promote scheduling first and then banning, but then I want to because I got the PC team thing under me now, and I've been looking at their PC match chats are so much better. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
they don't really talk in there. They all like you don't even have to tell them what to do. Console, you gotta hold their fucking hand. Okay,
Uh-huh.
ban, come on, buddy, ban a map. It's your turn. Shut the fuck up for 5 minutes and ban a map.
That also helps with having like the system to do it where you literally just go and click and the map is banned instead of having to like type it out, which like I said, it was fun doing that, but it allows for the whole toxicity thing, and B, it also allows things to take a lot longer because if you just go out and say like, hey, we're gonna be doing like what's a good time to do match bans, or like if you have a league that's on a strict schedule, being like, we're doing map bans an hour before the game, so like just make sure you're in there. And because like you said, having the scheduling done before the map bans probably would have solved half of the issues with scheduling back in the past, because it would like these motherfuckers used to take like 4 days to ban maps
They
when I
still
was
do.
Oh
team
no, they
captain.
still do.
They still
Still
do.
do.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And like and then
A
we'd
lot
have
of
a
places.
like we'd get into the match chat on Sunday. We'd have a map by Friday, and then we'd be like, "Oh, all right. So when do we play?" And we'd half the time we'd have to ask for a fucking extension because the other
Yeah.
team didn't ban for a goddamn week.
They wait till the final day to ban, then they're like, okay, I can
And
only
they're
play
like, "Oh, can you
Sunday.
do tomorrow? Can you do 3 hours from now? Like, what are
Yeah.
you fucking talking about?"
Like, no, I'm not gonna fucking play in 3 hours. Like, it don't work like that. That's why I said I want to incorporate at least the schedule first, then ban, because I gotta
Mhm.
you gotta get them accustomed to it, and then it's like
Yeah,
possibly like map bans or something where it's like you just do it the day of.
yeah. Having it done day of, like on a schedule, it really would be like so much better for everybody, just because it's like the fact that it takes like I said, I think my biggest problem with scheduling matches and doing console comp, aside from like the out of game issues, was like specifically the fact that like I would get so pissed off waiting multiple days for teams to ban,
Hmm.
and
Dude, once a
it's just
day,
and
one
then
map
like
a day.
having to wait for them to pick a fucking map 6 days later in order to get a schedule done. Then like we'd have to deal with the admins because they'd be like, "Oh, we want to play now, but like these guys aren't available. Like we've given them times and they're not available." And it's like, yeah, bro, you could have banned this entire fucking week. We're down to 1 day to play, and like we have other shit that we've already scheduled because we've been waiting for like other teams were smart enough to get the fucking bans done immediately, and we got the schedule done immediately, and now we don't have any time because you wasted a week. Like that's
But
not
then,
our
but
problem.
they get mad at you. We'll just play the game. It's like you wasted 4 days that I could play.
Yeah, it's like, bro, we like it's Saturday. this max chat started on Sunday. What do you mean it's my problem that we can't play 2 hours from now? Like, if you asked me this a week ago, I probably would have told you yes. But, like, no. Just absolutely fucking no. Like, we're not playing 2 hours from now just because you guys forgot to ban this entire week.
And so that's another thing that, like, it is horrible on console with how, like, League administration is ran, is they are way too lenient and forgiving on the
Mhm.
actual rules,
Oh,
where,
yeah.
like, especially with what you were saying, with it takes them 4 days to, like, ban maps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's been so many times where, like, my team, for instance, hey, I tell them at the start of the week, hey, we could play on these days through these times, and then by the end of it, I've already said we can't play the weekends, and it's currently Thursday, so either we have to play tomorrow or you've wasted my entire week.
Mhm. Yeah, like,
And, like, league administration needs to account that, hey, these guys put up an entire schedule for y'all, but you're too unprofessional to ban, and, like, they're not being punished for it at all.
mhm.
I've called
No, it's
people
like
out for
I
that
love
too.
Jasmine to death, but like she was absolutely the worst with that shit. Like, 'cause she was so anti-drama and just like trying to please everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
like and I'd have to get it like going to DMs with her. I'm like, Jasmine, bro, like it's been a fucking week waiting for these guys to ban. Like, we cannot possibly be held to like the same standards as they're being like we can't be held to a higher standard than them because they took this entire time to fucking get shit done and they have 1 day available and we're not available. Like, that's not our fault. Like, but she was always like she would give so many extensions and like I kept telling her, it was like, I get that you're very anti-drama. I get that you're like not wanting to upset people. Like, you just want to have everybody get their games done with and be fine and nobody hates you. But like, you have to start punishing these teams for consistently wasting everybody's time and then making it everybody else's problem.
That's why I want.
Yeah,
That's you got
I
it.
wish leagues would start handing out more forfeits for stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, but it's like, but it's so hard because like it's one thing in a paid league, but convincing non-paid league admins to hand out a forfeit for just being a little bit like I say a little bit late, but
Yeah.
like taking 4 or 5 days to ban, and then like there being a conflicting schedule because I've already scheduled 2 games this weekend and this is our third and they want to play, their only time they're available is directly competing with the other 2 games that we're playing. And like, it's hard to convince an admin to give a person a forfeit like that in a free league because at the end of the day, like, it's a free league, who gives a fuck? But like, it happened all the time in paid leagues too. Like, teams were given way too many extensions and shit, and it's like, I'm sorry, man, but like, we paid money to be here. Follow the fucking rules or get forfeited. Like, it's really should be like that simple. That's all that matters. Like, you should have a strict timeline to get your bans and your scheduling done. And if you can't get it done in that time, if one team is slacking on that and it hits the deadline, the admins just need to look at like who's more at fault and be like, okay, yeah, like this is like we're done here. Like that team has to be forfeited. Like, you can't do that in the paid league.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a big reason I wanted to go to schedule first. Is because like I will say from a league aspect, it does get annoying as how much it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at some point you don't want 52 forfeits because people can't schedule it. They can't ban Matt. Like, I know you're sitting there playing Siege for 6 hours a day. You could ban
Like,
these
you can check your
maps.
Discord for an hour, bro.
Yeah, if that, like even when I rep a team, I get map bans done in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like every
Same
time.
here.
And one thing I've always hated was I hated repping teams because before I did the league, I made a team just to see how shit worked so I could make my own thing. And I got screwed over so many times by, I was newer to the scene, so the whole friend favoritism bullshit. It'd
Mm-hmm.
be Thursday. They say Wednesday. I was like, they haven't given me a time. They haven't given me, well, it said just finish your bans. You finish your bans. Yeah, a Wednesday at 11 p.m. I was
Yep.
like, the game needs to be scheduled by Wednesday at the absolute latest, not the map bans. That's what a lot of leagues start doing. Well, the map bans are done. Okay.
I know, it's like it's the shit was so stupid,
Yeah,
man.
now
And
here
like
it comes.
it's so
Yeah,
annoying.
here it comes Friday. It's like I can't play now.
Yeah, it's like, guys, we already have 3 other scheduled matches, and like we could have gotten this shit done this entire time. And you telling me on Friday that the only time you're able to play is Saturday at 8, and I scheduled a game Saturday at 8 on fucking Monday. Like, I'm not moving that game for you because you annoyed me. Like, I'm not doing that because you fucked up. Like, it's just why the fuck are you like? Am I having to like deal with somebody who has 1 hour to play on any specific day, and I'm finding out about this the day before, and like I have to move my entire team schedule and another team schedule around because of that.
No, and that's why one reason I want to start getting a little stricter on stuff personally. But
Mhm.
I mean, it's like if you want to get the scene better, you got to change something. But it seems like everybody hates to change, and that's the biggest issue is people hate change.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. It really is brutal, and that was the most frustrating part about the match chats. It wasn't the toxicity, it wasn't the stupidity. It was literally the teams wasting my fucking time, and like it happened every week. It just so annoying.
And the bad thing like right now is I'm sure Stretch can attest to it. It's not even every team; it's the same teams. Like it's the same
Mhm.
4 teams that
Yep.
do it. That sit there and purposely. I don't feel like playing. Okay, and you think I want to feel like playing on a Friday at 8 p.m.?
Yeah, I know, right? Dude, like, God, what was the one fuck? It's like I can't even remember the name stretch, but I feel like I've called them time tortures like 100 times in public chats
Are
by
you
now.
are you just saying that they take forever to do scheduling?
Yeah, like not
Do
only
you
that, they
remember
also
Cayman
waste
Hockey
so much
Maker?
shit. Like, it's not just that, they also like they would waste a bunch of times in matches too. Like
Yeah.
like they would take so long to get shit set up. Like games would start like 30 minutes late, or
Oh
there'd
yeah.
be issues in the middle of the match. Like
The
I can't like
Yeah.
it was a team that kept asking me to coach them too, and I was like, bro, I can't fucking stand you guys constantly time torching
I think I
in
know
my
exactly who
lobbies.
you're talking about too. I think it's Watermelon Snus with Cayman Hockey Maker.
No, 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 no. It was God, I can't even remember who it was, but like I feel like it was a team from back in our day. They
Yeah.
weren't like anything special or anything, but
Well,
like
no, I just remember specifically this team named Watermelon Snus or whatever, which is like when crossplay first came out or whatever, they would say we can only play from like 2 to 4 p.m. on like Sunday and Tuesday or
bullshit.
something
2
like that.
p.m.
And
on a
they
that's
Tuesday is
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
and like they would have the oddest times ever, and you'd ask them, "What are y'all like EU or something?" No, they're NA, but they just play at the most inconvenient times ever,
Who the fuck
Mhm.
plays at
and
2 p.m.?
they would just like try their hardest to make it like like unable to be played.
Oh, it
I
sounds
don't
like
I don't
an
I
old
don't know
age
what team
Henry.
you're talking. Yeah, well, I was gonna say that's how Henry is today, but
That motherfucker
I
got
can't remember.
excuse after excuse.
Hmm.
Let me
Well,
see.
even
Maybe
now
I
though,
might.
like you remember old school comp, like if you said we were playing, if we agreed at 7 East, everyone was in the game ready to start at like 7:03. But now like games are being played like 30 minutes later, almost on a regular
Mhm.
basis
What's
to when they
irritating
should be
is
played.
you know you got a game at 7. They queue up a ranked game at 6:30. You've been playing this game long enough to know that the minimum time of this game is 25 to 30 minutes. That's a good
Yep.
4-0 sweep. Why did you start a game knowing you had a game at 7?
Yep.
Mhm.
Like Garfield the other day for Synergy. Well, this motherfucker used the 15 minutes, called a rehost to get, was it 5 to 10 minutes, and then called a tactical timeout just to have all 5 players. I was like, that's not a thing. You A tactical timeout, the game has to be going. You can't call it while you're waiting on the lobby. And you can't call a rehost if there's nothing wrong because the lobby hasn't
Mhm.
started. How do you know? But he did. I think he did it in Champions, which he owns now. I just saw that shit and I was like, there's so many things wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he got an extra 40 minutes out of that just to get 5 people. And that's my biggest issue with console is like the 10-man rosters. We have lives. It's like, so do guys in PC leagues. They still manage with 7 to 8 in T4. They are normal people just like console. They still
Yeah, and
are
like
able
those
to.
leagues, like they have 5 players and they allow like 2 subs max. Like you get 10 players or even 11 in some console leagues. Like there's no way you can't fucking schedule properly.
And they're still e-subbing. And my argument
Mhm.
is they refuse to use the 9th and 10th man. They're just placeholders. They'll e-sub their friend. So what's the
Oh yeah,
point of the
100%.
last 2 people? And that's where it's like, I always want to get rid of it because, it might end up creating more teams, whether it's a whole lot. You never know. But at the same time, that's 10 people that it's like, I've seen console rosters when I do the stat tracking. There are some teams that got 15 people on their stat page because they can't keep a consistent roster. And so you got 10 people. Okay, by the end of the season, you've had 20 people on your team. It's
Yeah, it's been like that. I always love seeing teams that went through like 8 different player changes in like 3 weeks. It was always so funny.
shit.
But
So
yeah, that's normal now.
Yep.
yeah, and then
And
you'll
like it
see.
really sucks because a lot of that consistency that we used to have is just gone.
Well, it's like
And
I
I
hate
don't know exactly what it is.
I hate the glaze too much, but I was like the Wild Boys team. Them motherfuckers don't roster change. Like they have
Yeah.
played the consistent same. They got their regular season team, then their postseason team, which I think is just swapping out Andy and not Snazzy, but I guess it depends on who's there for playoffs. But usually Andy only plays the postseason. But I was like, other than that, they are a consistent same 5 to 6 people every game. All these other teams, fucking 20 people, fucking 13 people, fucking. I'd say 5.2, the last era, they know. I think you had like 1 roster change per season, 1 or 2, and some of those were name changes.
Yeah.
But then you got teams like Nebula's rebranded people like 5 times. Synergy, he's constantly, when he loses, he drops somebody and picks up somebody else, which is a part of why I'm doing roster change limits next season too.
I think that's a good one too. Like it's like I understand if it's a new team and they have to and there's a personality issue that like they just grabbed a new player and like shit doesn't work out or anything, but like you can't just continuously pick up and drop players
But on top of that,
throughout the season.
1 new player, it's console, you're allowed 10. Put them on a bench.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you should not be changing 10 mans that often. But then
No, like
console
yeah,
people,
the
yeah.
amount of people that fucking like you have 4 people like you said, you literally have 5 players and like 2 of them are basically e-subs that never get any time in the first place. That are literally just there if for whatever reason 4 of the other 8 players could not be there. And it's like there's just no way that you can't field a roster with 10 people or constantly have to choose or change that many.
And there's no reason you can't produce 5.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no reason like you have no excuse for not being able to find 5 people in any given game.
Like well, I mean, I get there's your rare instances where 5 people or 6 might all just.
Or like on
Well, I
those
see
rare
that
days
because
when all of your
I've
subs are busy and there's a literal emergency from one of your
yeah.
players. Like
Well,
it
so that's what
happens,
I was
but
gonna say. I feel like a lot of that, like I know lately it's happened to me like a lot more than it ever has, and it's usually because of a scheduling issue that I've had to wait 4 or 5 days for someone to schedule and finish bands and stuff. So we get like the shitty end of the stick where we have to play on an unsatisfactory day or time or whatever, and there's like I know there's gonna be at maximum 6 people available for this game, and I'm praying something doesn't happen to where 2 people drop.
Well, that and it's like that's more understandable. You got teams that are doing this in 2, 3 leagues every week. Well, my team don't play. Then why are they on your team? Why do you pick up a dude who's available one day a week? There's
Yeah,
some
that
team,
too.
yeah, there's some teams that got 3 people on their roster that can only play one day a week, and it's not even the same day. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's the point of picking them up? Well, he's cool. Okay, and play with him outside.
And it's like he can be your fucking e-sub then. Like if he's only available one day a week, well fucking roster him and just ask for him to be an e-sub.
But then
Don't
it's
waste the
like
space.
they'll ask for reschedules or they'll schedule a game around one player. It's like, but yeah, they're the first to bitch about 10-man rosters not being a thing. You refuse to play with half your roster.
Mm-hmm.
What's the issue?
Yeah, no, people like they waste so much goddamn space on their own roster with people that like half the team won't play with. Like if you're not gonna play with them, just like why are they there? Like just get
Just
rid
in
of them.
case.
Just like you can say like I'm sorry, but like we just don't have just the rest of the team won't play with you. I'm sorry, but like that just conversation just has to be had. Just don't. Why are you wasting time with it? Like why waste a roster space on the one on the off chance that like half the team can't play? Like why are you wasting roster space for someone that one of your main 5 has threatened to kill himself if he ever has to play with?
Yeah, exactly. But that's one thing because I was like, it would be cool to go down from less than 10-man rosters, but it ain't gonna. They wouldn't let it happen. It'd freak out.
Yeah. Like they already complain it's too hard to schedule 10-man rosters and it's just never gonna happen. Like if it's a high paid league maybe, but like with a low paying league or like with a fucking free league especially, that's never gonna happen.
Shit. I don't even think it happened with a high paid.
Yeah, probably won't even happen with a high paying league either. But like at least they like if a league has like $100 entry fee or some shit like that, at the very least they can say like this is like you got to prioritize this shit, which means like you guys have to have 5 players and 2 subs, and like if you can't find a day that all 5 can play, too fucking bad. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
the league you got to prioritize. Like if you got a game, if you can only play at 8 o'clock on this day, and there's another team in another league, they can only play at 8 o'clock on this day, you're forfeiting to that team.
Well,
Like you
I've had to
prioritize
give
those.
forfeits out just because I'm only available this way. Well, it's like this team is available 6 days. You mean to tell me you're only available that one day?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we're only available on like Saturday. You're on a 10-man roster, and you can't pull 5 for more than one day.
I know, right?
And
And
they would never.
it's always a weird day too. Like it's either a Saturday or just like a Monday.
Yeah, because it was like his last season, and I was like, I had to give it to the other team. I was like, they got mad. I was like, they gave you 6 fucking days, and you couldn't make one work.
Mm-hmm.
Not even with the E sub. Like that's on you, man.
Yeah, like if you go 7 days and are unable to find 5 people on the roster or even one e sub, 4 people plus one e sub on one day out of 7, like yeah, tough shit, bro. Like you're getting forfeited.
Your team's chalked, man. Time to find a new
Yeah.
team.
Like shit happens, but like if you can't find if you can't get 5 people on any day on any week when you have a 10-man roster and the league allows e subs, like you're fucking cooked, bro.
Yeah, but then on top of that, you got the teams that lose, they disband, or they lose and they want to merge. Just like you're making the scene smaller.
Dude, Stretch. There was a player. I feel like they were on 5.2
Mhm.
around the time that I was leaving for PC. He had been on like 18 different teams. He was a really
Uh-huh.
good player. Fuck, I
Yeah.
almost feel like he played Thunderbird a lot.
Probably me.
Fields.
Sounds like me.
No, it was
Harvey.
no. He was like he was really well known within the scene, and
Must have
like
been NoOne.
he was like really well known within the scene, and I think he played a lot of like Roller Saturday tournaments.
Mm,
God, I
I
can't
can't
fucking
really
remember
think
his
of
name.
anyone because towards the end of your like little console tenure, that would have been probably around when Zimphy and Viz and them started getting into the game, and they've only ever been on one comp team or whatever.
I don't like. I can't remember if it was five. Like I feel like he was on 5.2 eventually, but like I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. He went around so many fucking different teams,
I'm not really.
and
Oh, was it a Dexy maybe?
yes, it was a Dexy. Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, a Dexy. Like I remember basically like every single team he went on to disbanded in
Yeah.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
there was a time when
I
he had
always
like
used
10
to
different
joke
teams in
about
a
him.
month.
Yeah, I was gonna say I used to joke about him doing that shit all the time. He's a huge team hopper.
Hmm.
A
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah, like he was the one person that like I remember. I think because this was around the time that VPR was getting like really good, and they were like, "Should we reach out to a Dexy?" I was like, "Absolutely fucking not! Like, I am not having this guy join the team for a week and a half, piss off everybody in the server, and then leave after what? After
That's
the first loss,
yeah, that's
like
probably what it
no."
was with 5.2 as well. He wasn't there for that long.
Yeah, like
Like maybe a
he
week or
joins
two.
teams in like the first loss he leaves, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate to wrap it up there, but I got a couple things I got to do. Oh damn! Don't get quiet now, cause I'm the bad guy. Fuck y'all too.
I didn't know what to say.
Oh well, I'm sure we'd ask to have you back at some point. Don't worry, you're pretty chill. I'll give you that one.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime. You don't gotta leave the server. You can stay in here just so I can say you're cool. You know, it's a status to be in
Alright.
here.
Yeah, I always laugh because like I've left some like console servers. I've had people like jokingly tell me to stay because it's clout having a T1 guy in the server.
Yeah, total clout. Total clout. But, anyways. Oh, I think we hit the 2 hour mark. Oh, we did. Look, Stretch, you got your wish.
Yeah.
But,
And we didn't
anyways.
even mount each other once on camera or like
Oh,
in the
damn.
Well, we
middle
could
of it.
change that.
That's
Yeah, of
disappointing.
course.
On or off air?
Meow.
Meow.
Well, we definitely meowed a lot off air. Like that was the first thing we did when we got in the call.
Yeah.
Meow.
You know what we should have did is we should have turned on the cameras, took off our shirts for old time's sake.
Oh.
The whole episode.
Get Jasmine in here just to yell at us again.
But I might bring. I do want to bring you back, but it might be for a completely like. I want to do like a fun episode with a couple people and you just talk shit and shit.
Of course.
But anyways,
I mean,
let
but
me.
like if I remembered anybody from console, I was like Steph knows. I was a huge like
You don't got to
doesn't
know.
matter how bad I was in the game, like I was talking shit to everybody after every game if they pissed me off.
Now that's a console guy at heart.
Of course. I
But
still do that. I'm still console at heart, but
there you go. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. Until next time, toodles.
Toodles.
peace.